if you prefer the Afrikaans version, Beraam is Ligtoring. Today I'm going to lift the curtain slightly about ancient gods and the question, are we as people slaves to the gods? What I know from the oldest religion so far back as 201,365,118 years ago, confirmed by several gods, goddesses, hefkenoms. A hefkenom is only a title for a very, very high god, about between 100 to 130th dimension, angels from many different ranks, and fully enlightened visas or human souls with whom we communicate two-way. Is that time as we know time has no beginning or end. Our human brains cannot calculate time as it should be calculated. Now we live in a third dimension called Tum by the gods, T-U-M, with our own recognizable time. But there are 113 or 130 known dimensions. From the first dimension to and above the 130th dimension, each dimension consists of 49 to the power of 49 sub and sub-sub dimensions, each vibrating in its own hertz with a unique time, each having its own star systems, planets, etc. Now to give you a few examples, the third dimension vibrates at 108.108 hertz and include everything visible for our three-dimensional eyes. That include all other visible life forms like animals, humans, etc. It excludes all life forms that gives consciousness to all living visible animals, trees, and human-like entities. Now the fourth dimension will have a different time span because it vibrates at 109.109 hertz. The fifth dimension, 110.110. The sixth dimension, 111.111. The seventh dimension, 112.112. And the eighth dimension will vibrate, or it does vibrate, at 113.113 hertz. And so it goes on endless. Now each dimension and subdimension function according to an individual time set. In the dimension of, among other gods, Brahmsa. Brahmsa is one of the big creator gods. Only 4 minutes and 6 seconds will pass, while on Earth 201,365,114 years will pass. Now this is not where time and the gods end. Oh no. Our planet in our star system is one of the more than well-known 5,000 billion star systems. Now that is in what I call one universe. There may be other words that they call it, but I call it one universe. There are endless universes, endless gods, and endless different forms of life out there. We cannot start at the beginning of time because we do not have the intelligence to work out when time started. But we can start here in our own third dimension on Earth using our own time dimension. Now, about 240,000 million years ago, a number of gods, goddesses, etc. built our solar system. The sun as we know it were not created yet, and the god Amun-Ra, some people call him Amun-Re, and his millions of demigods under him, and their teams of universal engineers and other personnel created a smaller sun, situated where the astronomical belt is today. Now, after all the 13 planets in our system were finished, Amun-Ra created the present sun and then blew up the smaller sun to leave behind what we call the asteroid belt. Now, Andrew, you will remember on one of the previous Skype sessions, and you also, all the viewers who watched the previous one, I did with you, Andrew, I mentioned that one of the most ancient cities on earth, where the great god Amun-Ra lived while creating the present sun, is situated here in South Africa among about 14 other ancient god cities, also here in South Africa. Now, during that interview, I showed you pictures to prove which no other researcher would have come forth with. Proof that those god cities and places were mainly cast with cold mixed iron stone or sandstone in some cases, a technology that nobody on earth today can do. Not even those people who think they are most advanced in technology. Now, that does not mean the gods only lived here, where we call the land in today's time South Africa. The gods lived all over the globe. In South Africa, I have found proven ruins of about 14 such ancient alien god places. I cannot call them god cities. It could be only, the point or the tip of a temple or an obelisk or something that is protruding, but we can see it. And as I explained in one of the other videos we Skype, the Most High God Yahweh, praise his name, lives in the 130th dimension, which is roughly calculated, listen to this one, about 108 billion light years from here. The Most High himself created in all the universes known to us and those universes that we does not even know of due to the fact that we haven't got strong enough telescopes and whatever to discover them. Now, our star systems is one of the young systems. I'd just like to mention that light years does not among the genuine gods refer to distance only. The older gods uses light years to determine age. This or that god is 150 trillion light years old. Now, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but that is a fact. The reason is obvious. If God, let's call him God X, is 150 trillion light years old, it is calculated in that specific dimension's time. It could very easily mean that 1 year there in that specific dimension could be equal to 100 billion years on Earth, something like that. Now, the oldest human skulls recorded that was found in the Hyperborean just south of the North Pole entrance to Agatha or Inner Earth represent the constitution human races of 201,365 and 114 years ago, that is approximately, created by the creative god Consella. These human skulls are exhibited in museums around the world. It looks very similar to today's Halloween pumpkin skulls. And I'm saying it with all the respect due to it. It is a very huge skull. It reminds me of a Halloween pumpkin skull, but an enormous brain capacity. Now, therefore, this 201,365,140 years back to approximately 240 billion or 1,000 million years, only the alien gods who created the rest of our solar system lived on Earth. During that time span, before the first man was here, or were created here, pardon, only the gods lived on the Earth, as well as in the Earth crust, as well as in the 8th dimension of Inner Earth. They came from different universes, as well as from the known star houses or galaxies or whatever the modern people call them, like Scorpion, the constellation of the Ram, the Bull, the Aquarian, the Pisces, etc. Some came to take from Earth what they needed on their planets, like gold, while other alien gods came to create seed lines of their different kinds here on Earth. Now, this is where the viewers should start listening very careful. We refer to those gods as alien gods for a reason. Ordinary people define an alien as a life form coming from another world or another planet, maybe another universe. If we use this definition of what aliens are, all gods are aliens as well, because all of them came from other planets. Now that includes the Most High God, Yahweh, praise His name. Now the God, the Christian, or the Christians expect to return to earth, is also an alien God, due to this definition. To prove it, you can read the last chapters of Revelation in the Bible under the headline, The New Jerusalem. The New Jerusalem, if you read it closely, is a big city coming from the sky in spaceship. It is in spaceship, in the form of a very big alien city. And if you go and read, you will see that this spaceship have got 7 portals with the name of each of the 12 tribes of Israel written above it. So it's an alien ship coming from a very far distant place. Now the modern researchers focus on gods who came mainly from Sirius or Pleiades, Alpha Draco, where most modern reptilian races and draconian races originated from. There are older gods from other Milky Ways, trillions of light years from Earth, that also visited our planet. There were originally 7 main light-side creator gods, together with their demigods and goddesses, under them billions of legions of angels and other workers who created the 7 original different human races on Earth over a period of approximately 201,365,114 years, under the guidance of the Most High Yahweh, praise His name. Now this gives us 8 main creator gods, the Most High Yahweh, praise His name, included. Now these following humankind species, if I may call them so, were the first. Listen to this one. The people of Argata, or inner earth, doesn't matter what you call it, also known as the cradle of humanity or inner earth. This was before the human race were casted out of Argata after their transgression against the Most High. Argata is a name humans gave to inner earth. The gods named inner earth Kemetralo. Now Kemetralo means Garden of Eden in Tavala. Tavala is one of the Most High languages of the Most High dimensions. Now those humans were created by the Most High, praise His name, Himself. Now white constitution people are the oldest people on the outside of planet Earth, were created by the creator god Consella. Now the constellation people, as we call them, and the gods call them, their bone structure or their skulls were snow white and very, very big, indicating a huge brain. Now those humans are, as consciousness-giving life forms, had an average of, listen to this one, 100 components. Today's human races among, or nations among the first world, have on average only 4 components. No wonder the Bible says those people were just a little bit to go to be angels themselves. Now turquoise people, we had the white people now, or the white skulled people. Now the turquoise people were created by the creator god Bodzala. Now they are also extinct on Earth, but a few thousand of them are active in Middle Earth, the Earth crust, that is approximately 800 to 1,400 miles thick, as well as in inner Earth or the 8th dimension. A lot of them is also being taken away to other planets where their creator gods originally came from, etc. Now then the red people arrived, red Siberian shamans and the red Russian people, the serious people, were created by the creator god Kintu and his team of demigods, etc. Now some of these creator gods created non-stop and are still creating on Earth and on endless other planets in endless other universes. Yellow people, before I come to the yellow people, you will also remember that there's quite a lot of red Indians in America nowadays, of which one of their creator gods could also be Kintu. Now the yellow people, if I talk about the yellow people, we all think of the Chinese, the Japanese, the Taiwanese, etc. And they were created by the creator god Sepha. Now the orange people lived millions of years ago and were created by the creator god Levi. Now they are no more on the outside of the planet. Some are still active in inner Earth and in the Earth crust known as Middle Earth. A lot of them were transferred to other universes and planets. Now green people, created by the creator god Amenti, created seed lines among other places in ancient northern Sahara, the desert, and the Middle East. There are still green skulls in museums all around the world. In a lot of my books, and one book especially, I placed a lot of photos. You know, you get almost golden kind of human skulls, but very elonged at the end, at the backside. Then you get the green, it looks like bottle green skulls. You get the red, like robot red skulls. The orange skulls, etc., etc. So, but you can use and search engine begin to search for photos of the skulls. I think it is known among researchers in the field of divinity that the god Amenti, the green god, died here on Earth, and although he as a Hefkanam was immediately reborn on the green planet of his origination, and his body was also taken back to the green planet. The reason for that, if human beings found a body like the body of God, they will definitely try to use the DNA to create super races, etc., as they did to the Genian grays that they found in Roswell and other places. Now the blue people were created by the creator god Ramza. They were blue-purple in color, also extinct, although a lot of Indians in India still have a purplish blue shine on their skins. Now if you look at the different colored seed lines and the different colored skulls that are in museums all over the world as proof, it is obvious that these different colored seed lines represent the different colored gods in whose images these nations and tribes were created. This is very important to understand, because Christian people, with all due respect to them and their mind controllers by name the Illuminati, wants us to believe that one God created all human races to his image. That is the biggest nonsense I've ever heard or read in any book. Why are there then different colored human races and nations? Or does the Christians want us to believe that this one God they believe in was as colorful as a chameleon? No, my friend, there are different colored nations and races and sub-races, and all of them are different from one another, with different IQs, visible different skin colors, visible different hair, etc. You can go on for hours and hours on what the differences are. Even in the Christian Bible, we read in Genesis 1 verse 26, where the gods are in conversation and where the one God says, let us, plural, create people in our images. This is why there are a first world nations, a second world nations, a third world nations, full of races and sub-races, from the one span of intelligence to the other span of intelligence. The third world are mentioned to be compiled of races and sub-races, not nations as the case in the second and first world. It was since the satanic Illuminati wanted us to believe that one God created all people equal that they start using other words to split nations from races and sub. Now, in fact, a race and a sub-race is not equal to a nation, or better explained, there is a huge difference between first and third world people, so-called people. You cannot even compare them. Their cultures differ. Their food differ. What is food for the one is poison for the other one. All this main light side creator gods came from other universes and other constellations, other planets, you name it, they come from there. Now each universe and of or constellation has its own dark side gods, light side gods, and grey overlapping gods, meaning they are not from the light side, not from the dark side, they're in a kind of a shade position. Now people usually think because the dark side Anunnaki, among other gods, came to create dark side races and sub-races as a slave force, that all Anunnaki gods were dark side and evil, which is definitely not the case. As I explained in the previous video, there are light side, dark side, and an overlapping grey side God families throughout all universes. If I speak of God families, I don't speak of 1,000 or 2,000. It could be 20 trillion gods in one God family. If this was not true, why are there a very big in rank and powerful goddess named Sobela, guarding only one of the entrances to our third dimension? I can promise you Satan, or Satana as they call him, the gods call him, is by far not Earth or the people on Earth biggest enemy. There are much bigger enemies out there. This is why big, very big gods and goddesses are guarding those entrances to our third dimensions. Now you can imagine what enemies do they have in the 100 to 130th dimension. Right, since the beginning of mankind, dark side alien creator gods also visited the earth. Now the main reason was and is still to mingle with the daughters of man, and by doing so they created a bastard kind of humanity, half dark side God, half light side human being. A chain of ceaseless curses by the Most High himself. You can read about some of this cursed seed lines in the 4th book of the Bible, chapter 7. Now light side gods also created half humans, half godlike people in what we call the demigods, and they are still doing so. Why? To upgrade the light side nations. If the dark side nations are doing it, they are doing it as well. They are many genuine gods, or there are many genuine gods in human bodies. And my friend, what I'm telling you now, and my friends out there, the viewers, what I'm telling you now is true. I'm going to repeat it. There are many genuine gods in human bodies, marrying women and creating children or offspring or a seed line. The offspring of the dark side gods on earth are called the satanic seed lines, and we as a light side seed lines are never to mingle with them in any way. The light, this is a cosmic law. It's not a law that I invented, or America, or Russia, or any other country in the world. This is a cosmic law created by the Most High of all universes, and this is how it should be. The light side offspring are called the more enlightened seed lines on earth. I would like to mention a few dark side creator gods who created very low IQ races and sub-races on earth. I think of the dark side gods named Fageto and Haga, Anaki, Enki, and Enri. Now Fageto created the more blood-lusting races and sub-races who would kill and eat their own kind or drink human blood. On the other hand, Haga's offspring are the thieves of the earth because they were not created to be rulers but to be low IQ slaves for that gods. Now these races and sub-races cannot create as first world humans can do, and therefore they destroy everything they cannot create, as well as the humans who created it. You read about these sub-races in different holy scriptures in the books of Enoch, Yasha is also called the book of the upright, and if I'm not mistaken, even in the Bible in the book of Job. They destroy what humans created by burning it down and killing the people who created it. And by knowing this and reading it in the older history books of the earth and the nations and the races, you can very quickly identify who are they in today's life. The created races and sub-races by the Marduk gods, Enri, Enki, and Anunaki, worked from the city of Mali in the Middle East as far down as where Swaziland in southern Africa is today. Now these races and sub-races cannot create, plan for the future, or develop like first and second world nations. They were created to be slaves for the gods. A lot of people refer to these races and sub-races as the bottomless pit or the bottomless well of hunger and non-development. Now as above, so below. It is not only the mentioned dark side creator gods who created slaves to serve them. I think you all have heard about mind control and how ordinary people are mind controlled to believe what the Illuminati dark side wants them to believe. Now the two best known mind control systems in place on earth are religion and politics. Only the two main. There are many more other. Now from a political point of view, the Illuminati will put the different countries' political candidates, all members of the Illuminati, in place for you to vote for. You will not vote for somebody out of your nation for the nation. You will vote one of the 2 or 3 they put in place for you to vote for. Now you cannot vote for who you want to vote for. The Illuminati breed their candidates in all chosen countries. History proved this throughout the ages. The general Christian churches make use of Pavlov's mind control techniques, among others, to mind control the Christians. The church rewrite the Christian Bibles every few years to accommodate the satanic view. That is why most Christians believe that there is but one God, and that is their church and human created Trinity God, of which the Pope himself declared on national television that the God of the church is Lucifer. The reason behind this is to keep the light side people away from the genuine light side God divinity and from the Most High Yahweh, praise his name. Now most Christians, for example, does not believe in the existence of other genuine gods. For most of the Christians, any other gods are pagan gods, meaning gods made by people out of wood and stone. Now in the meantime, genuine dark side gods walk the earth among us in human bodies. Some of the third dimension gods, for example, are incarnated in ordinary human bodies. That is possible because it is a known fact that the human body will take on the form of the consciousness giving life form in the body. We call it the soul. Your body will take on the form of the soul. So in each and every life, you will look more or less the same, like two almost identical brothers or something, or sisters or something like that. We all are created in the image of our different creator gods, and all the gods are very human-like as far as general looks are concerned. Only the eyes gives them away, and among the very high ranked gods, their skin color, as I mentioned to you. A lot of people, you don't have to believe me, in a few hundred years, everything I said will be proven by the modern technology that's still to come. Now, some of the dark side, yeah, and what I wanted to say, that the gods, their eyes, you know, if you, a few, I cannot say I've looked into the eyes of very high-ranked gods, but ordinary three-dimension, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-dimension gods, yes, I've looked into some of their eyes, and I can extinguish between a human eye of any kind and a god's eye. And I can promise you, I'm not going to mention names, especially of light side gods, but there are quite a lot of them in big laboratories, in big, like we call them light side countries, etc., etc. But we also know that all powers on earth has been given to Satan, who gave it to whoever he wanted. And two of the big mainframe or beyonds, I don't know what to call it, was religion and politics. Now, the only way to identify satanic seed line gods is to compare their ruling actions against the cosmic laws of the Most High, Yahweh, praise His name. No light side god, goddess, demigod, or demigoddess will ever implement something on earth that will give Satan or Satana more power than he already has. Something like to declare all human nations, races and sub-races equal, or that first, second and third worlds should mingle to become one race. That will never come out of the mouth of a light side god, angelical being, Davros, which means a holy one, etc., etc. It is the dark side gods in human bodies who will implement legislation in all possible member countries that could force those countries to transgress the cosmic laws of the Most High Yahweh, praise His name, in any possible ways they can find. For example, racism will be declared a sin before their god Satan and or Lucifer, to who they pray. Just so, by the way, Lucifer is one of the many prince sons of Satana. They will only use the title God, the Illuminati now, and all their, like the church or the politics. You will never hear that they speak of the God of, let's say, the Russians, or the God of the yellow people or so. No, to them it is one God. Now, the Illuminati knows that the Christians believe in the existence of only one God. So if the world leaders, or the political leaders, or even the religious leaders speaks about God, the Christians think they are talking about the Trinity Christian God with a small letter G, because the history books of the church prove that this so-called God was created by the church and the bishops of the church in very early years, in the first 400 years after Christ himself. Now, Andrew, you ask me if I think all humans are created to be slaves for the gods. The answer is yes, but there's a question mark behind it, and I'm going to explain it to you. What I want to say to you is what I know is that the bodies we live in, remember there's a difference. I am not the body or the face that you look into now. I am the consciousness giving life form. We call it a soul that gives consciousness to that body. This is me. The body is not me. So, if I tell you that all of our bodies are actually humanoid robots in progress, then you can take it for a fact. But we that give consciousness to these bodies, not all of us, are, let's say, slaves in the hand of the gods. As above, so below. In the light side dimensions, all creatures work for a living, and especially for higher ranks, power, leadership, etc. Nothing comes from free. That is according to the cosmic law of righteousness and deservedness. The law can be seen in nature. There is only the strong survive. There is nothing wrong with it. No work is being forced down on you if you are from the light side. If you do what you like to do as a work, that or what you do is more a way of living out your talents and not a work. To me, I'm a writer and a researcher. I can promise you this is no work. I will do it 24 hours. I will even drink tablets to keep me awake because I love it. To some people, to eat is, their life. For others, to go to the movies, it's their life. If another person goes on pension, he will sit on the book reading books because reading books is his life. I can promise you, to me, research and writing books and sharing my knowledge to the world, even 300 years after I have been taken away here, I am still loving to do it, and I will do it for the rest of my life until they take me away. A slave works the whole day just to have basic food and shelter. There is a very big difference between the light side and the dark side, so-called slaves. We are not slaves. We do what we are programmed to do, and we love it. But in the dark side, they will create races and sub-races to mine the gold and the silver for the alien dark side gods to take it away to their planets, maybe to seal the layers, or whatever. They always have a reason why they take away from Earth. Now, in biblical terms, there were different laws in place. Dark side laws and light side laws. Now think about the law of the 10th, where everybody paid 1/10 of their income as taxes to the government of those times, so that, or the government of Israel, so that the widow and those who cannot work, maybe due to some illness, may also have food to eat and a house to stay in and be happy. That is normal and lovely to be a part of. But in the countries ruled by the dark side gods in human bodies, you will, or they're represented as maybe demigods or angelical life forms in very high ranks, you will pay up to 80% of your income on taxes. Does that sound fair? Definitely not. That is how you know it's a dark side proposition. That is not fair. We on earth are here to work as slaves for the satanic governments. Not all the governments are satanic. You can identify them by comparing what I'm telling you now. Now, furthermore, in those countries where Satan rules, Satan or his appointed peons, the crime rate and the corruption will be among the highest around the world. That is how you can, in the light side, where the Most High rules, it's most obvious, everything is smooth there, and they want to keep it like that. That is why there are a constant war since the beginning of each creation of a universe or a star system, because the dark side will always come and interfere to break down and to corrupt and to steal and to do whatever they want to do. In any light side dimension and even on Earth, to work will not be a problem if legislation around the world is fair, due, or when it comes to taxes, among other things. What the dark side gods did since the beginning was to enslave all races as far as possible. Like in the days of Anunaki, they created slaves, had to work morning, noon, and night in gold and silver mines just to have the cheapest possible food to eat in exchange for all their hard work. That is unfair, but only if the slaves were not used to better conditions and better food before. I mean, if you are used to, let's say I'm a third world person, I live in mid-Africa, in the woods of the equator, and somebody adapt me and take me to, let's say, London. I must stay there in the palace of Queen Elizabeth. I'm not going to adapt there because that is not what I eat. That is not what my body was created to eat, etc., etc. So there's a small line, but we cannot somehow generalize. We must look a little bit deeper. Now remember, in the light side there is no money. I repeat, in the light side divinity there is no money. You work for spiritual development so that you can be promoted and one day become a god yourself. Now on earth, you work for money. A lot of people will tell me, how do you get to that? My friend, as above, so below. If there's reincarnation on earth and on a lot of other planets in dimensions, reincarnation with a cosmic law of action and reaction from which karma comes. What is the reason for that? What is everybody on earth the reason you are here in the school of learning? You are here to grow spiritually and psychically, actually first psychically, because if you're not psychic you cannot see in other dimensions, and then spiritually so that you can become enlightened, knowing what is really right and really wrong. There's different levels. Now on earth you work for money. Even the gods of the church wants money from his followers, so that, yeah, you must listen to that one, so that there can be bread in his house to eat and money in his treasure chest to live from. What kind of an alien is that? How will he be able to give you and me a living in the afterlife in so-called heaven if we have to keep him alive on earth, money and human food? Go and read the Bible, book Malachi, where this alien begs for money and food. Bring now your full tenth to my treasure chest so that there can be food and in my house. Speaketh the Lord thy God. And they mention this verse every Sunday in every church so that the people can collect money for this alien God. Now the Most High God, praise his name, declared in his own words that he created everything and will not ask from us what already belongs to him. All he's asking from humanity is the offerings of our lips. That's all. No money, no blood of cattle, no anything else, only to say, you are the Most High God, and we thank you for giving us a chance on earth. Thank you for the bread I'm going to eat. Blessed are you who let the earth bringeth forth bread, so that we can live off it. This is the Most High. This is not an alien God staying here on earth, collecting all the gold we've got, putting it in a big place so that one day when he takes his spacecraft again to go to his planet, he will take all the gold of the earth with him, etc., etc. We don't pray to a God like that. Now, in some countries around the world, unfair satanic rulers forces people in their countries to pay up to 80% of their hard-earned salaries as taxes to the governments. Does that sound fair? Does that sound like a light side God implementing such hideous rules? That is why they are the so-called 13th richest family on earth, and they owe the World Bank, together with the Christian Church, about all the medical schemes around the globe, the food industries, everything belongs to them. Now, if you know what to or what to look for, you can identify dark side rulers among your own leaders and organizations. Know the cosmic laws of the light side divinity, which are all in the Bible. Compare, this is not the Ten Commandments and that is cosmic laws, but it is in the Bible, or go and visit my website and you can get it from there. Compare whoever you want to compare work with that or with what the cosmic laws of the Most High Yahweh, praise His name, declare, and you will be able to identify the satanic seed lines and the rulers of Satan in all the organizations around you. The higher dimension gods of divinity will mostly be found in their higher dimensions on planets there, although a few may be in human bodies walking among us as supervisors, representing the third dimension, light side gods or divinity. Now the third question you asked me was, how did it come that I became a teacher of wisdom and truth? Well, Andrew and viewers out there, since I can remember, I was kind of different from other children. I can remember every place my parents stayed in since I was born. Yes, you hear correctly. I can remember incidences that took place in those places where I was under 6 months old. I can remember people around my bed that my mom and dad could not see. That was when I was between 1 month and 6 months old. In school I had experienced that I could see people walking among us that nobody else could see. They were not able to see them. If I said to my, let's say the one of the pals, listen, this is Isaiah and this is now Jordaan. Jordaan will run away because he cannot see Isaiah, and to me Isaiah is as lively as anybody else. It's only a slight difference. Sometimes I cannot, let's call it a ghost or somebody out of a human body that other people cannot see. Sometimes they are so clear that to me, I will greet them in front of you, not knowing that you cannot see them. So I was a little bit otherwise than other people. When I mentioned it, my friends walked away, never to be my friends again. To them I was weird, I was mad, I was somebody who can speak to ghosts. And in those days, I'm talking about 61 to 65, somewhere there, when I was in primary school, it was something taboo. If you can speak to or you see ghosts, you are cast out or whatever. To them I was weird. To me, those people, not the people that I could see, my friends, were kind of restricted because they were kind of blind. Furthermore, they could not hear what I heard, etc. They couldn't feel what I feel. They couldn't see the future. They could not do anything that I do. So to me, that was a little bit strange. My school career was kind of lonely as well, but I adapted and preferred to rather talk and chat to those my so-called friends could not see. I found this unseen friends of mine very helpful. In fact, they would have never, ever given me the wrong advice to do. As when I listened to them, I would never be in trouble. But as soon as I'm not listening to them and I go on my own, they would have been trouble. So I know they are from the light side. When something bad was going to happen, they will inform me in advance and guided me to avoid those forthcoming happenings that were very negative. After school, I had to join the SAP, this is the South African Police, for 2 years, and it was during this period that my psychic capabilities enhanced unbelievably. I think, at night when all the people were sleeping, we had to patrol the streets at night. And sometimes you walked and there was empty houses, the empty meaning the people living there were overseas or on vacation or whatever. And we had to expect, and this is where I saw a lot of very, very negative human forms that made me very scared. Now, yeah, I started studying different national diplomas and certificates. I also took a 4-year reverend course. In those days, nobody wanted a gay reverend, and I am gay, as everybody knows. So I kept my job at the municipality. Later, I did 12 years Bible research and ended off with a thesis called The Bomb Which Will Destroy Christianity. Now, I think everybody of you that's listening can already guess what was this book all about. That was a bomb, and I had to change its name to belief systems for centuries, paganism to Christianity to paganism. Now in South Africa, the majority of people are Christians, and they didn't like the contents of this book because it was against what the church were teaching them. This thesis I am referring to contains, so by the way, 659 pages of biblical info the church never speak about or read those info to their believers and followers. There's a saying that says the Bible contains more evil than good. The modern Bible, yes. The older Bibles, like the 4 that they put together in the first 400 years, those Bibles were as thick as this, the Codexus Vaticanus, Ephraimi, all those Bibles. There you can read the truth. They had much more info, like even the books of Enoch were the last books in the Bible, etc., etc. Now later the headmaster of the South African Institute for Religious and Mystical Sciences awarded me with the title Honorable Doctor for the book or thesis itself, which was very thick, and the contents of it, as well as for the 12 years of research I did in order to compile that book. Later on, I met a couple of people like myself who didn't thought I was mad or weird because I could see, hear, smell, and experience life forms in other dimensions. A few of us started Brahma's Tower of Light, and I divided the work and subjects into 9 departments, each with a cosmic science attached to it that should be researched. Now this turned out to be a race among the departmental heads. We all developed into enhanced psychic and spiritual people, and as you know, if you see you are psychic and there's place for development, you go for everything. We did a lot of things. I think if the governments over the world would know what we went through, they will either they will laugh or they will shoot us, because we took the way of the Buddhists, the Lamas, the Gurus, the ancient Siberian shamans, all those people. How did they become enlightened as they were? We took all the recipes we could lay our hands on, and we did it with a big, big success. The more that you learn, the more of their ceremonies you do, and you do it correctly, the more enlightened you become, in a sense that you can see more things. You can see in other dimensions. Previously you could see, let's say, in the 3rd and the 4th dimension. Now you see in the 7th dimension. You can speak more fluently to gods and angelical beings. You are allowed to see the gods the eyes of different gods. You are able to use a Merkaba to go through. You just find yourself in a Merkaba. That happened in this year for the first time. And I was out in places and dimensions where the suns are purple. The stars, the sun. The star is the sun. Like our sun is yellow or orange. They are purple, but electric shade purple, electric shade turquoise, red, orange, you name it. There were suns. I went through that, everything. And after everything we did, you became more advanced. Now, today I can still not get enough of the research I undertake. I still write books. I'm now busy with my 50th book. Previously, when I spoke to you, I just started the 49th book. And this book's are thick. It's 220 plus to 600 and something pages. I write average 5 of them per year. I still write books on psychic and spiritual growth and development, Ouija, everything that you can find, the way that we communicate with the gods. There's lots of different ways. You can even leave your body, tap in, go out, what, but there's always a way to communicate with the gods and the angelical beings and what. Now, about 5 years ago, I started to follow the Siberian shaman ways to develop psychic and spiritual even more. Now, the Tibetan Buddhism was maybe the most attracted way of thinking and living, and I adapt to it. Those people, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I mean, he will never tell you a negative thing. If you look at Facebook everywhere, if there's a Buddhistic little phrase there, use it. It will only bring you good. In fact, I never saw a negative phrase or anything that the Buddhist of Tibet will give to you, or Indian Buddhism, or any Buddhism. They were all beautiful people, and they are peacemakers, definitely not war makers. Now, we are not Buddhists. We are Brahmins, and we are not Siberian shamans. We are Brahmins, but we learn from them. We use a lot of their methods to speed up the psychic and spiritual development in every one of our members, but especially among the 9 heads of departments of our School for Mystical and Cosmic Sciences, Satori Salami Vetsolo. Now, how we do that is a Brahma's secret, but I can assure you it works. I'm still using it. There's about 3 levels still to go, then I will reach the top level. I am the principal of the school, but I am also lecturing demonology as a division of divinity, dark side, paranormal activities in and around people, houses, businesses, farms and land, etc. Esoteric healing by means of angelical and godly methods. High magic, in other words. Magic where, let's say, I must do a paratosa to remove evil spirits from a person. The words that I'm going to use will be activated. My voice will be activated in the universe. So to a certain extent, I'm allowed to do certain stuff. But if anybody else uses those words, nothing will happen. That is how interesting all this is what we are doing. Now, the rest of the departments are lecturing at this stage animal welfare and animal two-way communication in all directions. And the headmaster there is Andra. Everything visible or invisible are part of vibrations. Therefore, we have, a department of vibrations. Melvin Goos is the headmaster there doing the research. Dreams and the meaning of dreams. Clara Becker, she rules that department, but I can promise you, she even received for other an invisible head thing that's usually around her face. We can see it and she can see it, but other people cannot see it. Now, when she focuses on a dream, she will be in direct contact with the king of dreams, and his name is Pentorach. So he will guide her to bring about the meaning of the dreams, which is extremely accurate. If she tells you your dream means that you are going through this and this, you will go through that. That is a promise. Now then, astral projection and channel mediums, which include myself, Floranza, which is Willie Swartz, and Enrico Kuhn. Esoteric healing, paranormal activities in people, houses, etc. And also chakra balancings, that is me, and Kobus, Snyman Jordaan, and the ancient ways of bamboo massaging and healing Kobus Neyman Jordaan. Communication with trees, plants, etc. Myself, I got plans to retire from the municipality and focus 24/10 on research, especially ancient alien gods, cities and places in South Africa, and the clearing up of paranormal activities in people and houses, businesses, etc. You know, there are even spells, we call it spells, that you can do if a place is dead. Let's say a farm has so been cursed due to bloodshedding and whatever on it, even if it happened 100 of years ago, we can still, there are stuff that we can do and visualize with our minds to bring up the vibrations to a positive thing. That is what I'm going to do, because before that time, maybe there will be a Third World War here and a civil war in South Africa. After that, I mean, everything is going to be negative, and I know I'm going to live. Let's hope for that. And then that will be a big part of my work daily, to clear up negativity from places and enhance the positivity in those places. Andrew, I thank you, and I thank the viewers and the listeners. May you all spread wisdom and love and peace around the world. Blessed be. Thank you.